Call me Ishmael. Perhaps the most well-known opening line in American literature. Moby Dick is an American masterpiece. For many, the greatest book ever written on American soil.
It's a strange book, and it's compelling because that strangeness gets you where it hurts.
The most mysterious character in American literature may well be a great white whale. It represents what is at once beautiful, terrifying, and incomprehensible in the universe. The story of an obsessed captain and his quest to hunt down and kill the great white whale has become part of our American consciousness.
You're to look for the white whale. A whale as white and as big as a mountain of snow. It's Moby Dick. It's a white whale, I say.
Why are you white?
Whiteness for him was associated with nothingness, a terrifying, hot nothingness.
He asks himself at the beginning of The Whiteness of the Whale, what is it about whiteness that is so terrifying to me? What is it about this whiteness of Moby Dick that has been the basis for my joining Ahab's quest?
It's a tall tale about the pursuit into the unknown, the struggle between reason and madness, good and evil. It's a novel filled with metaphors and symbols, and the biggest one of all is The Great White Whale, the greatest book ever written.
Moby Dick is a warning for all of us against obsession.
Each culture, I think, has its extraordinary high points. And certainly Melville's Moby Dick ranks as one of the high points of human creativity, as some of the symphonies of Beethoven do, as the Sistine Chapel does, as the pyramids do. These are things about which there is no argument insofar as their greatness is concerned.
We can't say Moby Dick represents good or evil. That's too small. He represents the cosmos, the complete thing of creation. Whatever name you want to put on it, if you want to say the Creator, if you want to say God, if you want to say the cosmos, the universe, he represents that. And that totality is incomprehensible. And that's why he will remain a fascinating symbol and metaphor to the end of time.
To produce a mighty book, you must choose a mighty theme.
It's about your identity, who you are, what you are, and why you are.
It's a complex novel that can be interpreted on many different levels. On the surface, the story is simple. Ahab, the captain of the whaling ship Pequod, on a previous voyage, lost his leg to the great white whale, Moby Dick. Now he wants revenge. Ahab is determined to hunt down and kill Moby Dick. In Melville's book, Captain Ahab goes against the white whale, which may be a symbol of God, or the devil, or simply all that thwarts human intentions.
Ahab sees Moby Dick as evil incarnate, and in his attempt to conquer evil, Ahab tragically becomes evil himself, becomes a dictator, a tyrant, almost a Hitlerian character.
I was Moby Dick that tore my soul and body until they bled into each other. I'll follow him around the Horn and around the Norway maelstrom and around perdition's flames before I give him up. The story of Moby Dick is not only a story of a chase and revenge, that's too simple, but it's the story of each of us if we're not careful. We want answers to everything. We want answers to the creation of the universe. We can't have them. We will never have them. Now, if you keep hammering at that door, the door of the universe, the door of death, the door of life, eventually you'll go crazy. Ahab never had enough sense to give up the asking and get on with his life.
Ahab's only thought is to find and kill Moby Dick. first mate Starbuck has gone to sea simply to hunt whales.
You're not game for Moby Dick?
Captain Ahab, I am game for any kind of death if it comes in the way of the business we follow. That they know. But I came here to hunt whales, not my commander's vengeance.
Starbuck represents the way we should all behave. In other words, you've got a family, you have a wife and children at home who have a job to do. For God's sake, do it. Don't try to solve the mysteries of the universe. That way, as is proven in the actions of the novel, lies madness.
No, sir, no. Mr. Starbuck, are you opposing me? If so, I'll have you know that there's one God that is Lord over the earth and one captain over the Pequod.
That just happened.
Moby Dick is a novel of fantastic possibilities. Even if you've never read a word of Moby Dick, you know 3 words. Call me Ishmael. Contained in this huge, vast book is nothing less than the genetic code of America. All the passion, prejudice, ambition, search for truth that has been a part of America since the Revolution, that helped drive this country into the tumult of the Civil War and continue to power this country's march into the unknown of the future.
From the beginning, lovers of Melville have loved not just the excitement of the stories, but the language, and have recognized in Moby Dick a richness of language that is Shakespearean.
Words and phrases and sentences and paragraphs for Melville were sinews and tissues and bones and ligaments and joints. A book was a living organism for him.
The greatest book ever written. The white whale represents different things to each character in the novel. To Captain Ahab, he represents all that is evil in the universe. To Starbuck, he's just an animal to be killed for oil. To Ishmael, he is nature in all its wonder, beautiful yet terrifying. In Ishmael's words, the ungraspable phantom of life.
And as the ungraspable phantom of life, Moby Dick is possibly representative of evil, but Moby Dick is associated with beauty, with possibilities, with infinite resources.
The greatest book ever written.
To be enraged with a dumb brute that acted out of blind instinct is blasphemous.
Speak not to me of blasphemy, man. I'd strike the sun if it insulted me.
We've gone through Mao Zedong, who killed a lot of his own people. We came through Stalin, who killed his own people. We came through Hitler, who killed as many Jews as he possibly could. There's been evil all around us, and in the middle of this are trying to make do, trying to make some good in the world, to bring some sense of it, to bind our family together, to tend to our friends. So Moby Dick, I think, will be around forever because it poses the problem of evil and why it should exist, and what we can try to do about it and fight it as best as we can. It's metaphors, the gift of metaphors, speaking in tongues, the influence of Shakespeare, the influence of the Old Testament. These are the midwives of Moby Dick. And when you have that many metaphors lined up, hundreds of them, and dozens of major ones, that is the thing that drives the novel.
Ahab, answer me! Captain Gardner! I seek the white whale!
With Ahab, you have a classic male pattern anger. Here's an individual who is just white-hot mad. It's not so much that his leg has been chewed off by this big white whale, but that there is a pattern to the universe that is against man, that is against him, that belittles man, and belittles his intellect and belittles his spirit. And what he wants to do in order to claim some sort of dominance over this is to strike back, to hit back at God. And so he has this fist-shaking kind of defiance.
The white whale tasks me. He heaps me. Yet he is but a mask. 'Tis the thing behind the mask I chiefly hate. The malignant thing that has plagued and thrice frightened man since time began. The thing that mauls and mutilates our race, not killing us outright, but letting us live on with half a heart and half a lung. God, keep us whole.
That was totally wicked!
Moby Dick is not just symbolic of one thing as Ahab would make him out to be. He is an all-encompassing symbol of almost everything in the universe. Each decade has had new interpretations of Moby Dick. In the 1990s, many people have found an environmental message in the book. And Melville had an enormous respect for nature, for whales, and the sea.
You read Moby Dick now, and you can read it largely for the scientific information it has about whales.
Today, his masterpiece endures.
It's a book that says you're never done experiencing, you're never done knowing. We need the silvery jet just over the horizon to keep us endlessly pursuing not fact so much as truth.
Ishmael lives to tell the tale, always questioning, always looking for answers in a seemingly meaningless universe, while the great white whale survives, swimming the vast oceans of the earth.
Finished reading Moby Dick! I'm telling you this not to be all full, look at what I read, but because this was actually a big deal for me. For almost 10 years, I've been promising this book that I would read it sometime, ever since high school, when we had to read some excerpts from it, and I found myself actually liking it. This book that everyone complained was, ugh, so long, so boring, so much wailing, gross. And at that time, I said, one of these days, I'm gonna read this book, just for kicks. But I didn't end up reading it because, I don't know, I was too busy. Then in college, I was assigned some more Melville to read, and again, there was the whale whispering a summons to me from the distance. But still, I had all these excuses. I'm too busy. In the time that it would take me to read that book, I could read 4 others. And then a couple years ago, I read and reviewed Nathaniel Philbrick's In the Heart of the Sea. And then more recently, there were all these references to Moby Dick jumping out at me from Star Trek II and the X-Files, and I was like, ugh, for crying out loud, Moby Dick, this needs to happen! Finally, to force my hand, I guess, my friend bought me this lovely copy of Moby Dick for Christmas. There isn't really much that I feel like I need to say, except that it was exactly what I wanted, and Melville totally delivered. It's just so good. I want people who feel like I felt 10 years ago to know that this book is not impossible. It's just hefty. When you finish it, you feel like you've accomplished something. I feel like I just came back from a long and insane whaling voyage. And along the way, I met some really exciting, crazy characters.